everybody really does need to have a conversation about. So today is going to be the day we talk about a lot of the misconceptions of superstores. Superstores? Supermarkets. Supermarkets. We're going to be talking about a lot of the hard things that not many people realize. They don't realize that the government does penalize a lot of farms, and a lot of farms are going to be feeling an impact of droughts, all kinds of things that have happened recently. Welcome in, welcome in. If you are in here, make sure that you tap. I'm switching my chat to live chat so I can make sure I can see. Tap that big thumbs up. We're going to be talking about those hard conversations, those very hard conversations that not a lot of people realize are going to affect. Hello, Yvonne. Welcome in, welcome in. We already have 3 thumbs up in here. Let's go. Hello, Yvonne. So today we're going to just talk about all kinds of things, okay? A lot of people do not understand where their food comes from, so we're going to talk about it. Susan, hello, hello. Jess, hey, hey, how are you, my friend? So a lot of people think that every farm gets some subsidized grant. You can do research in this. It's all there, guys. Welcome in, Wendy D. Hello, Strong Eyes. Hi, Karen. Hi, Shattered. Hi, Little Red Hen. You did. You made it. You guys are making it in. Make sure you smash that big thumbs up button. I appreciate it. Hello, Daniel. Hello, Julie. Oh, let's go, Wesley. We got a farm boy in here. Okay, so a lot of people don't understand those subsidized. There's records of it. So 1% of farms are able to that get a bigger portion. They'll get about $610,000. Then the top 10% get around $300,000. But who in here has a farm that has actually received subsidized grants to help cover your costs? We're going to talk about the real people, not a corporation. We're going to talk about the real people. We've had this conversation over on TikTok earlier today, and now we are going to do it here. Tiffany says, nope. Chrissy, she has a cattle farm. She said, nope. A lot of people do not understand that those grants do not cover every single farmer. They don't. Unfortunately, the smaller farms get cut out. And unfortunately, the government doesn't care. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button. There's 37 of you guys in here, and we just hit 22 thumbs up. We need to have that realistic conversation. When farms start feeling stress, Wendy D says, family farm here, no subsidized grants for here. Exactly. So there's a lot of misconceptions where people are like, well, all farmers get subsidized. And I'm like, no, they don't. They don't. I grew up working farms, and it would have been nice if they had that. But right before the housing collapse happened, a lot of people lost their farms. And in the 1980s, there was also a big crisis, and it tore down farms. So we have to be realistic in what is happening. Like Hawthorne Heights. His name is Hawthorne Heights, okay? The duck. Joey's talking about the ducks. If you guys have not seen the ducks, would you guys like to go see them? I know on YouTube you guys don't get to see as much as TikTok does, but I will take you over. So we have the ducks in the pond right now. It's not really a pond. It's a bathtub until they're fully feathered out. Would you guys like to go see the ducks? I'm very curious. I can take you guys over there for a quick throwing it way back. Scottish Pepper says, lead us to the ducks. All right, Bad Granny, let's go. All right, we're going to go. We're going to walk in. I do have a chicken who believes it is a duck and tries to go swim in the duck's pond. It's not a pond. It is a bathtub. So we're going to drive you guys over this way. And we have the ducks. The black one is called Hawthorne Heights. And then we have Good Charlotte. It was not just a phase, Mom. It was not just a phase. Oh, I am so sorry for what you just witnessed. Or it's Charles. She said, or it's Charles. He still has his fro. He still will have his fro. I am so sorry. I can't control the ducks. I can't control them. They're messy, they're dirty. They get their pond cleaned out every day. Hi, Ricky. Striped feeties, I know, right? She's a little eccentric in her shoe wear, her little feet. But currently right now, I'm getting ready to build the chicken coop that will house the ducks and put in a duck pond. I got a lot of work to do, and we've had nonstop thunderstorms, so I've got some things to do here at the house. They are the sweetest ducks ever. Like, to be very honest, they are very sweet. Blood Monkey, hi. I've been prepping for a few years. Ooh, still pretty beginner, but I have a few essentials down. The next step is starting to can food. Woo, let's go. And store instead of Mylar. Nice. Thanks, Blood Monkey. I appreciate that. Remember, prepping, though, it is a marathon. It is a marathon. You'll never get everything right off. It's always a buildup. I feel like sometimes my faults is I will sit in a comfortable area that I'm very comfortable with, like canning, mylaring, those things. But then I'm like, oh, I need to work on a different skill. And then sometimes I'll get frustrated with myself. But that is the part of it, is you want to start building up. And canning really gives you a lot more control. You're feeling the storms, building a few extra extensions for your chicken tractor. Oh, I can believe it. Like last night, I was about to film the second video that was going to be released for today. And my windows were shaking from thunder. It was just, and so I was like, oh, all right, we're going to have to postpone that a little bit. Yep. Disease is a major factor, especially with farms. Yes. 100%, Wesley. And a lot of people don't understand that is, for instance, let's talk about olive oil, right? That's an easy one, that a concept I feel like a lot of people can understand a little bit better than others. The areas that grow olives have been hit by droughts, disease, and then freezes. So you know olive oil and olives are going to go up in price, because remember, what farmers work on the previous year gets sold the next year or even the year after. And a lot of people don't understand that, like when there's disease that affects crops, those kind of things, that is all going to be full circle. You have what? Taiwan, and I'm trying to remember the other region. They grow the majority of rice. They were affected by a massive drought. And so rice is going to go up essentially, like with the prices. And not a lot of people realize that. So that's really important for you guys to stay up on where your food comes from, how it's harvested, those regions, if they're impacted. Send some of those storms, please. I would love to know what you keep for medical preps in addition to Jay's case. Let me grab a bin. Let me move you guys back. I'm going to carry this bin over here. Okay? Are we cool with that? All right. So this is just one of the medical bins in this room. Oh, it's a little heavy. Oh, she's a big beast. Oh. Okay, I did not anticipate her weighing this much. Hello. Hi, friends. We can't get Jace packs. Okay. This case is a little It's a little large. So I'm going to go over 2 cases with you guys. This is a great question. All right, let's pull down. This is a trauma kit. We'll pull this one down. They're a little beefy. They're a little beefy. All right, I got my Jace Medical, but we've got, I can tell a cat slept on this. Hello. All right, and the trauma kits. Do you want me to go into the bin with supplies first? Let's hold off on the trauma bin or the trauma kit for the very end. All right, let's do this. All right, yeah, there's a canning pot. I'm gonna be opening this. You guys can tell when I'm streaming, I pull out stuff so you guys can learn a little bit easier. And sometimes I don't put it back. I need a good cleaning day in here. All right, not sure why some fire blankets are in there, but they don't belong in there. So those need to go to a different location. All right. Whew. All right, I'm gonna go through the comments first because I'm probably not gonna look up for a moment. You just bagged 75 pounds of rice for that very reason. Let's go. All right, okay. Mine is a little extensive, little backstory in there because there's 51 of you guys in here. Not all of us know each other very well yet. My mom was very sick and I inherited when she passed. I'm an only child. I personally chose to take a lot of the medical supplies when she passed. Somebody's gonna get mad. I have insulin stored up in a mini fridge that's around the corner. She was diabetic. Insulin stays good for a very long time. I am not a doctor. This is not medical advice. Let me put that out into the world first. It can stay good for a very, very long time. I encourage you guys to look up on how long, and if something was to happen, for me personally, I would not want somebody who is insulin dependent to go without insulin or a child. So I don't know the legal ramifications of it, but I would rather be prepared than sorry. And my daughter has friends who are 12 and 13 years old and they are diabetic. And so I prep for everything. Just so we're all clear, okay? I literally filled everything and then stored it, okay? My uncle is also diabetic, and so I would rather have an excess and pray to God never need it than to not have it. So as we dive into here, there is some medications that you probably won't be able to get a hold of, but some of it I inherited. So just understand that some of it is from my mom, and my mom passed away. So just so that we can get that out into the open. All right, so first one, this is from my mom. This is Zofran. It's anti-nausea. My mom, while she was dying, was very nauseous. And so I have a lot of Zofran. Alcohol pads. Of course, we have to have our, hold up, potassium iodide. There's a lot in here. I'm going to start going through this container. I'll just pull it out, show it, so on and so forth. Of course, we have cotton balls. You donated my mom's heart transplant medication. You understand? Yeah. Not a lot of people know that. So you go through, yep, just got a new heart and kidney. And so there's a lot of old supplies. Yeah. So a lot of times people are like, how did you get a hold of that? And I'm like, well, unfortunately my mom died. So, and we are about to approach the 1-year anniversary. I'm kind of broken inside. Me and my mom had me as a teen. I'm an only child, and it was just me and my mom growing up. So I get a little emotional about it, but I haven't opened this bin in a minute because I do get emotional. So if I do get emotional, I would like to apologize ahead of time. All right. Potassium iodide. I stock up on it like it's crazy. Let's go through. All right. We've got some medical tape, larger medical tape. Hydrogen peroxide. Hold on. We're going through all the cases. Hydrogen peroxide. Hold up. We're going to have a few in here. All right. There's a lot of things going on. Alcohol. Rubbing alcohol. more alcohol. Children's Tylenol. We all know that this was a very hot commodity during the pandemic, but children's Tylenol and children's ibuprofen, I stock up a lot on, a lot. My mom was immunocompromised, so lots of face masks. There's a lot in here. A lot of clear strips, gauze, bandages, alcohol, peroxide. Are you guys like noticing that I'm like throwing them in the air? Fiber. I'm gonna run out of room. I can already fill this. Fiber. For all y'all that really want your MREs. What is this? What is this? Vapors. It's a filter. Filters. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Puke bags. Lots of them. I actually have an entire box filled with them. All right. Acetaminophen, Tylenol. Fiber for all of those who love their MREs. Again, hand sanitizer. Let's keep going. Thyroid support. I have Hashimoto's. I have an autoimmune. I stock up for myself. Chest rub. This is gold, okay? I am going to tell you now. You're going to put it on your feet. You're going to put it on your chest. You're going to bathe in this if you have an upper respiratory. And there's always going to be more, okay? Lots and lots more. Is it going to go bad? No. Same with bag balm, okay? If you guys know what bag balm is, it doesn't go bad, okay? I use the same one from like 2002. Leave me alone. I also have one probably from the 90s. Does not go bad. All right, let's keep going. Oh, no. That I need a mess of. Hold up. I have dancers, so we have instant cold packs that go in their bags, but also instant ice packs. They're awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. You can buy those in bulk. You can buy those on the Amazon. All right, we have very large syringes. We have saline flushes. I have EpiPens, yes. My daughter has a peanut allergy, so I'm able to use my insurance for EpiPens, which I've been very blessed. Bleed stop. I use this stuff. Guys, I use my preps. More saline flushes. Find yourself a friend that's a nurse, and if they randomly have some when they come home in their pockets of their scrubs, barter, guys. Find your friends, all right? Find your friends. All right, here we go. All right, my mom had breathing issues. All right. Oh, gosh. Give me a moment. Hold on. Let's see if we have more in here before I choose to do it. Inhalers. Lots and lots of inhalers. You can refill your refills on those as much as you want. Your insurances won't probably give you a big, huge problem in it. Oh, I'm chucking things. Vitamin D3. Friends are hard to come by, especially true friends. True. Gauze. Lots of gauze. Afghan bandages. Hold up. I think there's an extra EpiPen in here. Hold up. EpiPens. Lots of EpiPens. Vitamin B12. Vitamin B12. Benadryl. Claritin. Oh gosh, you guys are going to think I'm crazy. Potassium iodide. More fiber. Ooh, I'm going to feel judged. All right. We're going to keep going. You guys, I'm sending like crisscross applesauce. Oh, petroleum jelly, but I just lost the lid, so I'm going to have to go find that. Hand sanitizer. I have overfilled some of these areas. All right, this one is a constant. This I fill up our camper with. I fill up all of our first aid kits with. This is something that was very traumatic when I was a child. My mom is diabetic. My grandma was diabetic. And when their blood sugar got too low, it got really dangerous. So one thing I do, I even have these in my car. I have glucose gel and glucose. It's pretty much sugar syrup, okay? The reason why is if their blood sugar gets too low, it can be extremely deadly and it can be very, very fast before they slip into a coma. So I purchase these. I get these as often as I can, and I add them into all of our kits. Like our first aid kits in our camper have this. Our first aid kits in our home have this. My car has this. They're also in my preps in general because you never know what could happen, and I don't want anybody to ever experience what that's like. So some people might not even talk about it on this app. Who knows? All right, let's continue. This bin gives me a lot of feelings because a lot of it is my mom's stuff. All right, Blistex, chapstick, potassium iodide. This is one of many bins. This is the one I can carry in here. All right, pain relief balm, those kind of things. Benadryl, pain relief balm. Excedrin. I am telling you right now, let's say we're in the same area somehow or another, we end up bartering. I'm going to tell you migraines kick my ass, okay? This could be a high commodity item for those who have migraines, okay? I'm going to tell you right now, I would probably give you something pretty good for a big bottle of Excedrin. I have big bottles of it, but I do have these in their smaller ones because once again, if something was to happen, you don't want people to know you have a ton, right? You want, like, you're parting with these two, and this is really hard for you. You want to be on top of this, okay? So I store big bottles, and I store individual packet sizes, which do cost a little bit more. But in a true SHTF kind of situation, you don't want to be walking out like, hey guys, I got all of... Hold on, let's pretend. This looks more like Excedrin. I got all the Excedrin. I'm going to go through and read some of these comments out loud. Super glue is great for sealing. Yep, I have super glue. It's in the other bin, but not in this bin. You worked at a clinic and was able to take home a lot of expired sutures. Yep. Mm-hmm. All right, let's continue. Let's continue in here. All right. What are you? I have to look at what you are. Give me a second. This doesn't expire until 2027. It has my mom's name on it. It's more Zofran. More Zofran. That one's a rough one. Tourniquets, cat tourniquets. Sinus medication. Antiseptic wipes. Let's see what else is in here. I don't even know if I should say this one out loud. They never go as a caregiver back. Yeah. CA, I think you see what's going on. Like, this is a lot. Being a caregiver is hard. It's a lot. Okay, we're going to drop that one. Pretty much anything that was my mom's was in here. So we're not going to say those ones. All right, we have some, you got your little pull socks. We'll go in there. Bandages, Band-Aids, gauze. There's so much in here. Okay. There's a lot. I'm not going to empty out all of it. But wherever you feel like, you know, you could be faulting. I even have, oh, that's fiber. I even have medication for people who are sensitive to dairy. Oh yeah, dairy relief and stuff like that. I stock up on almost anything. Yeah, I'm not going to jump too deep into my feelings in this. It's still a pretty big open wound. You'll never have enough medical tape. I have bins and bins and bins and bins and bins and bins and bins. Oh my gosh. I won't grow all of it, okay? Don't judge me too harshly. Yeah, that's a lot. This one. I'll open up the other one. But this one's a hard one for me to go through because it's all pretty fresh to me. Amazing preps to have. Not amazing way to gain them. I will say that. Like, I can't look at these the same. It's a lot. It's a lot mentally to handle. But also being prepared mentally is important. I hope that helps on that bin. I'm going to move this bin out of here. I'm going to move in the peroxide and stuff slowly. Not make any of them leak. This bin is going to be very heavy. I try to do lives like once or twice a week. What's up, Wesley? Wait, I think I missed something. What did I miss? Your daughter's in her 30s and she told me to get rid of my extra crap so she doesn't want to have it and she doesn't understand or agree with prepping. Ooh, that's a hard one. Hi, Mike. Happy birthday. Yep, if you ever go to the ER, you can pick nurses' brains. Not legit. We're not talking the zombies, guys. Don't be doing some weird stuff out there. Don't be getting us like all red flagged. It's a little hard. Especially if you're a caregiver to somebody who is dying. Like I said, some of these preps, not everyone's going to be able to get a hold of. No barbecues right now, guys. No barbecues. No barbecues. Even though we all know Strong Eyes wants the barbecues. All right, let's bust into the trauma kit. Ugh. Cat was sitting on top of it. This one is just like a basic level, throw in the back of a rig kind of one. All right, you got your stethoscopes. There's a stethoscope in it. You have your, I believe this is an abdominal. What is on there? There's dust. Multi-trauma level dressing. This one is a large one. This is a 12 by 30. Surgical sponges. Surgical sponges. If you ever need to bag someone. I do have oxygen tanks. I do have oxygen. Like I said, I have some preps that others it might be harder or more of a struggle for them to get into. Airway kits. Combined pads. Lots of different gauzes. A lot more trauma pads. Different stuff, a lot of different suture kits that are in here. Of course, there's emergency blankets. I believe this one's from like Lightning Products. Blood pressure cuff. I hope I never have to use anything in here, but you never know. And I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Let's go into the side pouches. Oh, I think a cat slept on top of this bag in the winter. All right, let's go into side pockets. Side pockets. All right, we've got CPR masks. Hi, I love the fact that you still did a reel on buckets highlighting their significance. So buckets are okay. I don't want to get like totally like smashed down over it, but there's a price point. Do they lack protein? Yes. Will they last a long time? Yes. Are they the most tastiest thing out there? No. I try really hard to be very bold and honest with that. The fact that I can more stuff and I grow more of my own stuff, I feel like I'm not as reliant on those, and I also have my own freeze dryer. I like to make my own freeze dried meals. So I try to like really balance my prepping from like every single aspect out there. There's meals where if you ask me if I like such and such bucket and a certain meal, I'll tell you. I'll be like, you'll probably make a better meal by yourself. Strong Eyes, I got notified I was gifted a membership. You wanted to say thank you. Oh, Jess, thank you so much for thanking Strong Eyes. Strong Eyes is fantastic. Yeah, so only on YouTube so far, I only have beef stew up. So there'll be more and more canning videos coming up. I'm trying to kind of figure out what everybody likes. So it seems like when I go over a product, nobody wants to watch it. So I'm trying to figure out a better way to incorporate it because we are always looking for different ideas or different kinds of preps. Oh, thanks, Mason. You're so nice. It was a really fun interview. A lot of people think I'm like super optimistic, but I'm like I'm like smiling and I'm like, our world's kind of shitty right now, and I'll just keep smiling about it. It's just because this is a part of my life, and I hope that you guys will make prepping part of your life. I don't want to see you guys hit burnout mode. I know that's so common where people will be like, oh, I'm going to prep, I'm going to prep, I'm going to prep, and then they get burnt out, and then they're like, I'll see them come back like 2 years later, and they'll be like, do you remember me? I'm like, yeah, I do remember you. And they're like, now I'm getting more into prepping, and I'm like, my goal is to try to make people not feel that burnout. I don't want them to feel overwhelmed by it or torn down by it where all of a sudden they just like give up. Prepping is a lifestyle. It's definitely not just a movement or just I prepped this and I'm done. It's definitely a lifestyle. And the biggest thing I always encourage so that you don't feel like you've wasted money is use your preps. Use your tools. Like for me, for instance, like I use these like every day. I just used this yesterday at the gun range when I was sighting in. I mean, use your preps. Use your preps. Ooh, they're nice and warm because it's kind of cold down here. But use your preps. I want you guys to feel comfortable in using them because then you're going to feel like, okay, I did get some bang for my buck out of it. And it's not just something that's sitting on a shelf gathering dust. For instance, this is one I heard many high reviews on. I used it a little bit last summer. I'm going to be using it more this summer. I just kind of like to like test and see if I think I like my fire starters a lot more than the store-bought ones, but you know, to each their own. But yeah, in this medical bag, there's burn spray. There's even glucose in here too, like in the emergency kits. CPR masks. You got your Afghan bandages, all those things. Now, my first aid kit that is constantly in use is my home first aid kit. That one I'm always restocking like monthly. But in the summer, especially when we're out side-by-side riding, I do have trauma kits that are set up for inside of the side-by-side. I can't tell you the amount of times I've seen people flip vehicles or when I'm out hiking, somebody get injured, those kind of things. And I do like to carry quite a bit on me, especially even like tools, because you never know. One of the times we were watching a four-wheeler go up one of the hills, and their lug nuts came off and their wheel was about to fall off and they were about to flip down. We were able to, you know, bust out the toolkit out from underneath the side-by-side, get those tires put back on that vehicle, do a double look through so that they could make it up the mountain safe. I mean, just being prepared in every aspect of your life, and you'll never feel prepared enough. But if you apply it to your daily life, it gets a lot easier. And then you always become the superhero friend, right? You always will become that superhero friend. I'm going to tell you right now, out of all my guy friends, they're always like, oh, she has it. She definitely has that. Or we'll be out riding or something and they're like, I don't have this tool on me. And I'm like, I flip open my Jeep and I'm like, I got it. Hello from Arizona. Welcome in. Would shorts work for canning otherwise videos that struggle for video? I do a lot of canning shorts on TikTok and people miss a lot of crucial steps. So I think I will stick those to longer form, but kind of to get people amped up to want to can, I'll do those in shorts. You got some of your garden replanted, rain already, flowers? Yes. Hello from West Virginia. Welcome in, Kim. Thank you so much for enjoying my content. I would love to get stuff planted if it would ever stop raining. I know I need to go pick up some more plants to start filling in all the rest of my garden. I'm hoping tomorrow will be that day. You've got to get soil and seeds germinated. So I'm going to try something. Welcome in from Australia, family. The one thing, somebody gave me advice on this app and they were like, just get a truckload of manure and then throw down your potatoes out at the property. So I have the rain barrel and I have a drip line. It's like a hose and it just slowly seeps water out. I'm going to run that through it. I'm going to pick up a truckload of manure and just literally dump it because the soil out there isn't great. And we're just running with things because we want to test it. It's going to take a long time to amend that soil. Who in here has had to amend soil that's not the best? We have to be realistic. Not every state and not every area is going to have the best soil. And it takes a while to get things set up for the way that you want them to be. So me dumping a truckload or 4 or 5 truckloads of manure out there and just start working on it isn't going to hurt me none. Will the potatoes grow? I'm hoping that they'll do great. If they don't, at least I got somewhere I'm started, right? Like we're just going to start and go so on and so forth. I do have 2 new blueberry bushes that I'm adding. And then on the perimeter of the property, if I get this drip line to work perfect, I'm going to be adding raspberries in along the perimeter. Because once again, thorns, those kind of things, and food. And they kind of are drought resistant in their own way. You got a trailer full of free horse manure. Let's go. I don't even know how to describe the area. Mike, how would you describe the soil out there? It's like rocky, it's sandy. Some of it, there is decent topsoil, and then all of a sudden you're in rocks. It's all over the place out there. There's clay out there. There's so many things. You got your shell rock. There's so many variables. I know I'm going to be adding in a ton of soil to the top. Oh, Blood Monkey, you love listening to it. Yeah, how many of you guys enjoy the content where you listen to this like it's a podcast in the background? That's what a lot of people do with my live streaming. Sandy, clay, top, shale, yep. I'm trying to get my grass to grow to keep the HOA off your butt. Definitely use some sand. You can use sand when you're reseeding your grass and it will help out a ton. You have pancreatitis and still alive after surgery. I couldn't go shopping, so I lived off my preps for 2 years till Social Security kicked in. I am so sorry, Pony Girl. That is so hard. I am so sorry. And I'm so glad your preps saved you in there. Has there ever been a time that your preps have saved you? Since Pony Girl just opened up on that. Has there ever been a time that your preps have saved you? Like, I feel like my preps and homesteading has saved me so many times. I mean, I don't remember the last time I bought eggs at the store. And so when people talk to me out, I always ask, because I'm like, I'm illiterate when it comes to that, because I don't know the cost of eggs. Ooh, very nice, Shattered. YS says, yes, girl, nowadays. Yep. The pandemic. Yep. 2 weeks ago, you didn't have enough for groceries. Let's go, Brittany. That's the reason we prep, because you can go into your rotational. You can go into your pantry. That's rotational back there. I did want to give you guys kind of a forewarning. I'm going to pull a few items from freeze dry wholesalers. I just want you guys to be aware of, oh, this box is very heavy. Of price differences that are going to happen with these tariffs. Hold up. Oh gosh, that is heavy. We were talking. I'm gonna just grab a few things just to kind of show you guys, so you guys can understand the differences in it. All right, let's do it. All right, these are just a few of my beef products. All right, just beef. This is freeze dry wholesalers. Freeze dry wholesalers, fantastic. If you don't have a freeze dryer, hit it up. What's going to happen on May 10th, freeze dry wholesalers has to increase their cost in beef for 20%. So a lot of people do not understand a lot of beef is imported into the United States and prices are going up. So you can use code Charmingly Frugal, save yourself 15%. But as of May 10th, a lot of these, this is like the beef, freeze-dried beef short ribs, they will go up like 20%. Freeze-dried ground beef, that's going to go up. Freeze-dry hamburger patties. For those who don't understand how to do this, yes, I do. I have quite a few videos up, YS. I'm trying to come up with freeze-dry Fridays where I show you guys. So all of these kind of rehydrate different, and it's phenomenal because when you're cooking it up, you have your own. So like the hamburgers, right? The hamburger patties. Some people just rehydrated that and threw it on the stove. I don't know anybody out there, and maybe this is because I cook a lot. Do any of you just throw a regular hamburger patty on the grill? I'm just curious. I need to know. Slightly, because I might be judging. I don't. I like to season my stuff, okay? But this is just freeze-dried hamburger patties. It's just 100% ground beef. There's no seasoning or anything like that on there. So what you do is you rehydrate these, you dip them in the water. You let meat will only hydrate as much as it will allow to do that. And then I season it. Sorry. I like my food to be very flavorful. Okay. Like already formed patty. Do you season your like hamburger patty? I do. Like I will layer it with mustard over it and fry it up like we're going to In-N-Out burgers. Okay. I'm a seasoning kind of gal. I like, Chrissy goes, I season the shit out of my food. I just love a good seasoning. You guys make sure you smash those thumbs ups. There's 80 of you guys in here and we only have 56 thumbs up. But I am a big person about having seasoned, delicious food. I don't like bland food. You have your freeze-dried short ribs, those kind of things. So just realize on May 10th, these prices are going to go up. So if you're looking at wanting to have freeze-dried beef, I would do it now. Like I would not do it later. Uh-oh. I think I just broke my next chair. Kelly, Joey, I'm so sorry. I broke the chair. All right. We are going to need... Hold up. We are going to get this one put back in. I just broke my chair. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to fix it. We don't need to tell anyone about this. Don't tell Kelly and Joey, actually. We probably shouldn't tell them. No, I like this chair. It's been doing really well, okay? We fixed it. It's fine. Everything's okay. This one didn't last 6 months. It's been here since Christmas, but I do work from my chair, so I'm pretty rough on my chairs. I will not deny that I'm a little rough on them. Freeze dry wholesalers, use the code Charmingly Frugal. Save yourself a ton of money. And then they'll sign you up on their email list, and they have awesome deals. Awesome deals. In April that you had LDS stores, there is a lot. Pretend nothing is happening right now. Yes. We would never have guessed. Stock up on herbs, seasoning, those kind of things. I dehydrate the majority of my seasoning. I store them in mason jars, and I use them throughout the year. Some people ask me if I store them up in Mylar. I've never really done that because I do grow most of my own seasonings, and I feel like I don't probably grow enough to stock up. Maybe the one that may have been enough to do in a Mylar would have been thyme, but I feel like I use it pretty quickly. Yeah, so freeze dry wholesalers, their prices are going to have to go up on May 10th. Yep, you can order from LDS warehouses online. Yep, and get some freeze dried food there. My favorite is these. Like, I mean, I love them. I love them. They rehydrate well. Each thing is different. So on Freeze Dry Fridays, this week I will be showing you what I'm freeze drying and then what I'm rehydrating for you guys. So this week I've been going to Costco for the last like 4 days. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I have about 7 stacks of bananas, and tonight they will be going into the Beast. Oh, sorry guys. The Beast back there because I like bananas, okay? And for the bananas that already turned brown, those go into Ziploc bags. I put those into my freezers. I use those to make banana bread. Your ginger is growing crazy. I've never grown ginger. I should just do that. You have too much to use. And a little bit of ginger, fresh ginger, goes a long ways. So you should definitely use a dehydrator and store that up. Freeze-dried bananas are the best. I'm planning to probably run, I think, 3 batches this week. I mean, it's Monday. 3 batches of bananas. And then I'm rehydrating the beans right now. But I will be making my venison chili. So it will be all the chili, the meat, everything like that. And that will be created into, let me find an MRE bag. My individual MRE bags, it's going to be a chili mill. It will be really, really good. It will also have like freeze-dried cheese and all the fun things that you want to throw on top of your chili. It will be there. Ooh, you can make capsules out of it. I've never freeze-dried ginger. That's wild. Is it good? You guys are so funny. Welcome in, Joey. There is nothing to see here. Nothing just happened, and nobody's going to snitch on me, okay? We're just going to look over to that direction. Shattered, I hope. I was shocked last night when I went to go stock up on logs and needed to find a new local source. Things are getting expensive, and it's about to get really interesting. Yeah, ginger is great for nausea and upset stomachs. Great, Jess. What are you talking about, Willis? Nothing. We don't need to tell Joey what's going on in the chat, all right? So nobody tell him what just happened. Mike, it's your birthday. It's Cinco de Mayo day. His birthday is on Cinco de Mayo. We don't need to talk about it. Okay. I'm just going to exit. Hello, Maureen. How are you, my friend? But if you have not stocked up on your freeze-dried foods, I would highly suggest it. If you do go to freeze-dry wholesalers, get the pumpkin pound cake. You will not regret it. It is my absolute favorite. No matter what happens in the world, if I have some of that freeze-dried, I am pretty happy. You'll just have to rewind. Maybe I won't upload this one. Maybe I'll make it private. Ooh, you have a freeze-dry wholesalers order coming in. Let's go. I heard something about barbecues. I don't know. But making sure you're prepped, understand where your food comes from, understand that everything is going to be kind of affected. And the cost of living, everything's affected right now. I mean, we've all been living through this for the last 10 years. Let's be honest. Regarding the bananas, they're slightly green still. Serena, thank you so much for the gift. I appreciate it. On bananas, you asked, do you use slightly green, ripe, or very ripe? So very, very ripe, I put into Ziploc bags. Those go into my freezers, and that's my instant banana bread. The frozen bananas, you just dump them out, and they're just extra sweet. I'll use mine as ripe and slightly green. That's why I've had the bananas sitting on my counter, trying to get them a little bit more ripe before I slice those up. Hello, Predator. Welcome in, welcome in. Yeah, they had a special this weekend. You ordered chicken with pot stickers? Mm-hmm. I ordered the pot stickers and the chicken. Freeze dryers are very expensive in Spain. Who told? Who told Kelly? Have things calmed down in Spain? Exactly what Jess just said. And thank you guys so much for being in here. I really enjoy doing lives. Just take a picture for insurance. It's not broken. It's not ruined. I can fix it. See, I already fixed it. I have an armrest again. See? I try to do twice a week. Adrian, thank you so much for the sub. Right now, I'm on my phone, and so when you guys subscribe, make sure you type it in there. For some weird reason, it does not show it like it does on my laptop. See, it's fixed. I just have to fix it a little bit better. No Taco Bell today. No. I'm getting ready to go upstairs and make some bread, though. No Taco Bell today. I have some cooked pork tenderloins, and I got to figure out what I want to make a recipe with that. Your husband, Sarah says, my husband's company was just bought out and he was thankfully offered a job with a new company. I'm definitely thankful for that and the fact that we prep. Exactly. Adrian, I do lives quite often. I'm going to try to do them 2 to 3 times a week on here. I'm also live on TikTok in the mornings. It just needs some pink duct tape. It's fine. No more, AudiQ says no more blackouts right now. You're making jerky today? Oh, jerky sounds good. What flavors are you going to be using? No Taco Bell today. I'm trying not to eat out at all. Because both my kids do sports right now. I'm stuck in the car a lot. So the only thing that I have ate out is at the ballpark. I know, 15 days till the draw. And everybody in here, I would like you guys to all have your fingers crossed for me. I'm really hoping I draw on my hunt. And I'm very dependent on this, at least 1 or 2. Utah's a little rough, and I really want that hunt. Tori, welcome in. I'm just curious. I'm new to your channel. What got you into prepping? So I actually grew up with preppers. We didn't call it prepping. We were more homesteaders, and we lived with, my grandparents believed in deliberate living. So we did not do We believed, so, okay, rewind, sorry. We're getting way ahead of ourselves. My grandpa firmly believed grocery stores were for the elite. My grandpa was born in 1910. People who just shopped at the grocery stores, he literally would be like, oh, you're fancy. We have become, our nation has changed where now society relies on grocery stores instead of going to pick up those items that you just can't grow. Now it's more of a codependency on that system. So growing up this way, learning, I mean, I started canning around the age of 3 years old. I go hunting, I go fishing. I grew up on game meat. And so that's just the way of my life. So I've just grown up this way. And then I've introduced like my husband to it and started teaching people and trying to get as many people to do as much as possible. Please film my hunt. I do. So I do have some of my old hunt filmed on there. I wasn't sure what I can show on YouTube. I have to do some more research on it. But I do have some clips on my shorts from my previous hunts from this year. You went to your potato video to meet my pup. Did the fence work? No. Pony Girl, he got to it the very first day. Now, he did get a zap or two, and so now he has left it away. Joey, you have a gift for me? What kind of gift? So, Mike, do you want to tell the chat what you put in on your hunts, and I'll tell them what I put in. So, I put in for archery on my deer hunt, and then rifle on my elk hunt, and it's in the draw. I'm praying I get one of those. If not, I'm going to be purchasing a ticket and a tag and just being there really early, but I'm hoping that I do well. Do you do freeze dry videos? Yes. Yes, I will be doing freeze dry videos. I'm going to be doing bananas this week. And that's because bananas are imported. I need your help to entice women to get involved in prepping, all ages, et cetera, et cetera. Of course, absolutely. So first thing is make it fun. It's really hard for me because I have very few girlfriends out there, and most of the time they just look at me like I am crazy. I bond more with men because I like to go hunting. I like to go fishing and those kind of things. Take a girl out fishing, go, you know what I mean? Or just talk about things, or just turn off the power and be like, well, what are we going to do there? You did archery also. You did muzzleloader. We did not get anything on our muzzleloader. Do I have water filtration videos? I don't know. I know on TikTok I do. I don't know if I do on here. This channel is very new. A lot of things is if you're wanting to entice women to want to prep, the best way is empower them. Empower them in that. I feel like the field of prepping is actually probably one of the furthest behind. I just went through a scenario, and I'm very open and honest about it. You want to empower women, whether you're giving them a skill set, encourage them. And when they start succeeding, then they're going to like it even more. Prepping is it's decades behind the rest. Some of the things that have been said to me on this app and on other apps, if that was said in an office environment, somebody would lose their job. Like, a lot of people are very set in that women can't do anything. They can't do it right. They can't do and it's wild. It's wild that that's acceptable in this field industry. And, it happens all the time in the tactical industry. I'm friends with a lot of women who work tactical, and know a lot of tactical, CEOs. And so I went to a business just recently, because they were having a new open, and I went up and I walked up to the counter and I was looking at a new handgun. Let me take my gum out of my mouth. It's going to drive me crazy. Sorry, I'm not meaning to chomp on the camera. And I went up and I was like actively, like I was there to purchase a gun. And this happens to me more often than expected. So I'm up there and I'm just looking, and they're like, not one of them say, hi, how are you? They look at my husband, who's putzing around looking at safes. They look at my husband when he walks up and they're like, "Sir, we'll be with you in just a moment." And his face is like, you realize she's the one that's going to buy the guns, right? And his face just literally is like, okay. So I tested it for about 45 minutes. I waited at the counter, and couples came in after. They would go straight to the husband to start talking. And I just observed. And I was like, and then we went to the lanes because we were having a date night. And we're going to the range, okay? That's a date night for us. So we're signing into the range, and we're getting everything all, put in. They by accident had us on like the 25 foot lane, and we wanted to be on the 75 foot. So we're just, sitting there going like this. We're waiting there, and the guy asked me, and he goes, "How's your day going?" And I said, "I have a question." And I was like, this is no shade. This is not to be rude. This is not nothing you have done. Is it your protocol that you don't talk to women? And his face was like, and I was like, I have not only stood there for 45 minutes actively looking at purchasing, not one gun, not two, multiple. I was like, every single person walked around and they greeted my husband, but they didn't say a word to me. And my husband was beige rating that. Like, he purposely was like, "Oh no, I'm good, but she probably wants something." And then they would be like, "Oh, we'll be right back with you." And I just stood there. And I was just like, okay. Because this is something I deal with on a regular basis. We are behind our times. And so empowering women and wanting to encourage them into it, that is going to be the best way to get them really hooked into it. Like, because it is canning, it's fun. Growing your own food, it's fun. Preserving your own food, it's fun. Just make it something that is easy and don't put somebody down, and they'll be more drawn into it. And so while I was sitting there waiting, and the guy goes, "Oh my gosh, I am so sorry." And I was like, well, so is this like your common thing? And he was like, "I am so sorry." And he's like, "Our owners are going to freak out." And I was like, "Why?" One's a woman who owns it and one's a male. And he goes, "We've already been told not to do that. And the fact that you just caught 6 employees doing that, not on purpose, like by any means, it's not on purpose. Somehow it just happens, okay? I don't like to make the excuse in the fact, but we have to start normalizing that women love their guns. Women love to prep. Start normalizing it. Stop, shoving it to the side." Well, the owner came down and he greeted me and stuff like that. And I was like, "Matt, right over here." I was like, "I will purchase all my guns from you." And Matt was like, "Okay, well, you guys have fun on the range." When I came back out, we purchased multiple guns. Matt had a very great sales day. Bought a new handgun and a new AR. But you want to encourage those things, and that discrimination is well known. I mean, already look at it. You can go into the interview video. There's already one that says women don't know nothing. Women don't know blah, 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 blah. Like, we're still so far behind our times, unfortunately. Yeah, turn off the power in the water for 6 hours. You could definitely get them. Don't traumatize them, but try to encourage them. Unruly? What do you mean unruly? I don't talk about women like that. I don't talk about men like that either. Making them see the light. They do that at your Sportsman's Warehouse as well. Yeah, it's a hard one because, like, all the other people who are around, and the owner came out while I was in the middle of the purchase, and he called them out. He was like, "She just bought $3,000 worth, and you guys didn't even acknowledge her." It's a common thing. But we definitely want to be more positive, more have a conversation, like, with women. Like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" Most women do plan a lot more, and prepping does come a lot easier. And I know that was something I got ripped apart on that video, where they were like, "Women plan." First of all, how many of you men were actually good at packing a diaper bag? And I am not talking about that your kid is running around in its diaper, has no pants, no socks, no shoes, and you don't know where the ointment is, or that you have to call your wife and find out where something is in the grocery store. I will not put men down, but I mean, women, they know where things are. They know the price of that item, those kind of things. Talk to them, treat them like they're a human being, and you'll find a lot more women who do prep. A lot more women. I mean, the following in the best way possible. You're more manly in terms of a prepper knowledge than most men. That was really nice. Thanks, friend. KQ, that was very nice. I'm gonna internally laugh for a moment. That was pretty funny. Women are very good at organizing, and women, honestly, they're going to notice something. If they're the one, if your woman is actually the one who does the majority of the grocery shopping, or your man, I'm not going to judge. Both me and my husband go to the store equally. Okay. We're going to notice when we start seeing stuff that's coming into a shortage. And we can complement each other. It doesn't have to be women versus men and men versus women. Women and men are designed, I'm not trying to get religious on you, but we are designed to complement each other. That's why it's fun. I'm sorry, we're going to go dirty for a moment. That's why we have a great time together. Or men and men is fine. I'm not discriminating. But we complement each other. Our different personalities are going to complement each other. For instance, when I go hunting, like me and my uncle, our personalities, we complement each other. We're hilarious. We have a great time. But he knows I'm going to pack the snacks, okay? He knows I'm bringing the snacks. I know he's going to make me a mean Bloody Mary when we get back. I drive the side-by-side all the way up to the top of the mountains. Why? Because my vision's a little bit better than his. And he's better at spotting. Now, when it's like me and my husband will drive the side-by-side, and I am better at spotting for antlers. I am better at it. We all can complement each other so well. And it doesn't really matter on the gender. We just have to get our personalities to collide. And I think that's a really hard thing for people to understand. My wife is a memory because I can't remember anything, right? And they'll remember things. Most of the recipes back here, this is in my in my brain. But with other things, I will ask, like, for instance, like fuel storage. I'll ask my husband, that's his wham jam, thank you, ma'am. I'm like, how much did you put in there? And he'll be like, oh, I did blah, 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 blah. And then he'll look at me on canning and he'll be like, so how many bushels do you think you need of blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, oh, I'm going to need four bushels this year. And he's like, I don't even know what that means or the pounds it means. We can complement each other. We just have to learn that we're not against each other. And a lot of people thought on that interview that I was like downgrading men. And I think men are great. Most of my friends are guys. And I hang out with guys more than I hang out with girls. I have my set few girls that I hang out with. And most of my friends are guys. And that's totally fine. I would love, if there's more female preppers, I would love to be your friend. I have to record the doctor's visits for the kids because I will forget what the doctor said. Oh, you record it? That is actually amazing. That's smart. That is smart. I record a lot of things because of my ADHD. So when I'm walking around and I like read your guys' comments and I'm like, ooh, we're probably going to do a video on that. I have like my voice recorder out and I will be talking and typing out the script. Like, you have a selective memory according to your husband. I have selective ears. To look on their face and know my husband are both mechanics. Exactly. I am not very mechanically inclined. I'm very quick at picking things up. I like to attribute that to my mom. My mom was a single mom. She had me as a teen. It was just me and her. And she actually gave me some skill sets that I did not, and mind you, she did not have very many skill sets, but she subconsciously gave me skill sets that I did not expect because she was very sensitive and she would get overwhelmed very easily. And those are all pros and cons mixed in there. But things would happen around our house or in our apartment. For instance, one of our pipes burst and we were very, very poor. And she got the materials needed, but she was trying to put it together and she didn't know how to turn off the water. And it was just a disaster and everything. And so quickly in my mind changed. And I was like, oh, I'm going to turn that valve. And I started turning off the water. And then so on and so forth. I just gained a lot of mechanical skills that I don't know the names of half the things. I just can see that it's probably going to work out and I just do it. I know that sounds strange and weird, but I can kind of visualize like how it needs to be fixed. And I've even done it with my first car, you know. My clutch went out. I knew my mom could not afford it. I drove in reverse all the way back to our house. I knew that I wasn't going to either A, I wasn't going to have a car, or B, I was going to need to have to figure out how to do this. And so at 16 years old, I put in my first clutch. And I remember literally like searching the instructions on the internet and printing it and then being like, I'm going to try and do this and I'm probably not going to succeed. Married men have selective hearing, Mike says. It's a survival necessity. All right, all right. I was recruited to a big box store. Pony Girl says, I was recruited to a big box store and I've had so many regulars, mostly women, that I help out, get them in the best associates for them. And some of them have become your friends. Like certain famous sports wives. Ooh, Pony Girl. All right, I like it. Amber Watts, I have a selective memory, according to my husband. I've guided hundreds of hunts, and women on average are a much better shot because of men in the groups. They have better fine motor skills and it takes to be able to shoot accurately. A lot of people don't give women credit for that, so I appreciate that. When me and my husband go out, we go train. We train at the range a lot. I do a lot of long distance and I do a lot of short distance. I'm trying to get to be able to adapt between the two quicker. That's where I lack. We're playing different games. Like, on TikTok, we were talking about it. I am an iron sight snob. I just barely purchased one of my first sights for one of my handguns. And I feel like I'm a sellout now. I know I'm not a sellout. Some of the sites are really awesome. In your house, your father got sick when I was little. AudiQ says, my father got sick when I was little, and I had to take on the role of being the man of the house, so repairing things and problem solving. And those are things like we need to start empowering each other and compliment each other, you know? Give those compliments where they're due, you know? It's 2025. I have friends that will make jokes, like other dance moms that I've met in sports. And they're like, well, if I get a flat tire, I call my husband. And I'm like, you should know how to change your tire. Like, can I take you out to the parking lot? It will take us 10 minutes. I will teach you how to change your own tire. Please, please let me teach you that, because you don't want to be reliant on somebody else coming out. Because what if something actually happened and they're not able to come out? Then you're disappointed in them and it's created a fake scenario or a slippery slope kind of scenario where you're expecting them to show up to save you. And what if they can't? One of my favorite quotes is, nobody is going to save you but yourself. So I think it's very important that we all take that into consideration. My daughter starts driving next year and she will know how to change her tire before she gets behind the wheel. That's what my stepdad did. That is amazing, KG. That is what my stepdad did and my mom. They both wanted me to know how to change my own tire. And I will give you guys kind of a fun story. So my husband grew up in the city. I grew up in the middle of nowhere. Opposites, very, very opposite. When we got back from overseas, we were driving and we were in the drive-thru Good afternoon, SF Doug. We were in the drive-thru at Wendy's in my hometown where I used to work when I was a kid. And the tire went flat. And it was pouring down rain. Okay. And he was like, oh, crap. What are we going to do? We're supposed to drive up to the window. I said, give me 5 minutes. And he was like, what? I was like, give me 5 minutes. And I popped open the trunk and I was like, time me. And I had the vehicle jacked up, the tire swapped out, the spare in the back, closed the thing as they were opening the window of Wendy's as we pulled forward. And he looked at me like, and I was like, oh, we're from the middle of nowhere out here. Nobody's going to change your tire but yourself. And then I taught him how to do it. And those were just some skills that, like, his dad is a mechanic and just never really, he was one of those hold the flashlight kind of dads. He didn't want you to touch it. He didn't want you to break it. He didn't want you to ruin what he was doing. He just wanted you to hold that flashlight. And so teaching him those things, now he's confident in all of those things. But it was definitely a wake-up call because I was like, we don't drive around on E on our gas tank because we live in the middle of nowhere. And if you run out of gas, you're going to hike that mountain to get some cell phone service. Yeah, new cars don't even come with spares, which is wild. Will you laugh with me? I have damaged shoulders and I want to gain archery skills. I told my little brother who is living with me when I said I'm purchasing a kids beginner set and you can laugh now. No. I'm not going to laugh at you. The reason why I'm not going to laugh at you, first of all, you have a shoulder injury. And second of all, a lot of people don't understand with bows, you are more prone to injuries when you start putting more weight onto your bow than what your body can physically handle. And so when you are drawing back and you're drawing back, start with the kids. I am not going to laugh at you because you're going to need to build that strength into your shoulders. And anybody else out here, who else in the chat goes hunting or has done archery? We start you off low and then we'll build up. It's okay. And nobody is going to tear you down over that. We are not going to tear you down because what's going to happen is if you overexert yourself, you're going to cause an injury. And we don't want that for you. So I will never laugh at you on those kind of things. Actually, I think you're smarter than 90% of the people out there because I will see a guy get a bow who's never shot a bow and he'll go straight back and all of a sudden he's got an injury going. It starts in September here in Indiana. Let's go. I'm in the same boat. I'm from rural Wyoming. My hubby was a Navy brat from Cali, and when we first got together, I had way more guns than he did. Hinted at taking the way more game than he had. Yes. Do not overload your bow. Thank you, Mike, for saying that in the chat. Nothing to laugh at. I'm an archer. My kids in Florida do archery champion. Let's go, Kate. That's amazing. Yeah, most people do not understand the strength. Like, even for me, I know I'm out of shape and I'm going to have to practice a lot more because I'm not in the same shape that I was in my 20s. I'm in my 30s now. You do archery for fun, and I haven't gone hunting, and I hope to get the chance. I hope you do too, AudiQ. Yep. So a lot of people don't realize when you start, like women should start around 25 and build up. Men should start, I want to say it's 30-ish. I'm not a man, 35, and then build. Okay. Do not overload yourself. Do not hurt yourself. Those are the things you want to keep. I was in my 30s. Again, 45 sucks. Everything hurts. Found learning to use a slingshot really helped with your archery. My son loves his slingshot. Yep. Stretching rubber bands year round. Yes. Resistant bands also help a ton. That's what I've been doing. I've been doing those off my door. Just because I know with this hunt, so normally I go with my uncle, but my uncle does have a neck injury And so I'm the only one who put in for archery. They'll come with me, but most likely it will be me mostly out there by myself, which I'm fine with. We normally hunt in different groups and then we kind of all like split off. But this year he's had already multiple surgeries. So I know that they're probably not going to want to be out with me as much as I will want to be out. Yeah, for an ethical kill. Yeah, 40 pounds. Yep. But for women, like just starting off, like when you're starting to train, you can get there quickly. Just don't go walk straight out there and be like, oh, I'm going to put it to this and then hurt yourself. I would rather have you not harm yourself and build that up and just, you can adjust it. You can adjust it over and over. It will be fine. I promise. Build up, build up, build up, build up. The first time it hit, it was not funny. I'm not even going to lie. One of the very first times I ever drew back, and this was practicing. I thought I was stronger than what I was, and I was not that strong. I think I was 15. And I drew back, and I I don't even know how to describe it. I definitely was not doing the job. And so and then I tripped and then I shot a car. It was a broken down car. It was no longer in use, but mistakes were made. I did not have control. Yep. Start from the lowest settings, turn up from there. It was not good. It was not good. And friends from back home were like, did she just do that? After that, things got a lot better. But of course, your ego gets in the way. Luckily, it was a broken down car in a field, but it was not my car. And I had some explaining to do on that property. They are here in Utah. You have to apply, right? With the crossbow, you have to apply for a permit for the hunt. It's I think you have to be disabled. We own a couple crossbows and we're giving one to my uncle, and he's had enough neck surgeries that he qualifies. Is it legal? I didn't know that. Strong Eyes, I'll let him know that. Because he had surgery. So he was on a hunt and somebody had flipped off of a ravine in a four-wheeler, and they broke their neck and got paralyzed from the neck down. My uncle and his friends were the first on the scene. They actually scaled down literally a cliff to get to this person to stabilize them, to call in life flight. Well, after life flight got there, they evacuated that person. My uncle and his friends were climbing up, and my uncle missed a step and he went backwards down that ravine, and he ruptured some discs in his neck and in his back, herniated a bunch of things. It was a really tragic, they literally were there to save someone's life, and then he got injured right after. And so now I'm inheriting his bow collection. So I don't even have my own bow. I have one from high school, but I'm not using it. I'm actually taking on my uncle's bows. So I get to find out all of that for this year's hunt. This is my first archery hunt in 10 years. 10 years. And so now I'm retraining. Because I had littles. I had babies. I had 3 babies all back to back. Now they are old enough that they can stay back at camp while I hunt. And I'm not so concerned that they're going to light something on fire. Air bows are only legal during firearm season, not during archery. That's what I figured. So he's setting up everything. So I think next week we get to go look. So my uncle, because of that injury, he no longer will be doing archery. So I'm inheriting all of his bows. And so he wants to set it up, and he's like, you are not purchasing anything. Do not go and buy anything. And I was like, but I want to. And he's like, no, because he can't shoot with his anymore. And so he's like, we're going to have to scale it down and then start practicing. So here, I think next week, we're going to go size everything to me. And then I will start practicing, because we're going to hope I draw this year. I mean, if I don't draw, then at least I have like a whole nother year to put in for a draw to see. He's a very good uncle. So he never had any kids. Neither did my aunt. I claim them as like my second parents. My aunt is my mom's sister, and I was raised by both my aunt, my uncle, my mom, and my grandparents, because I was like the first grandchild and an only child, and so I spent most of my time with them. So he is a very, very, very good uncle. Now, I did buy him a crossbow because I know he's injured, and that will be a lot easier for him to use. But that's a surprise, so don't tell him. Okay. Shh. Shh. Don't tell him. All right? Nobody go in there looking for my uncle, all right? And then tell him. He does watch my stuff. I'm waiting for my back and neck surgery, but arm wrestling for side income. Jesse, you're arm wrestling for a side income? You have a back. It will be a lot easier on his neck. So his neck, I mean, he has like an incision from like here all the way down. It's pretty gnarly. But you like your Matthews as well? Yeah, so this is so I go out hunting. I haven't drawn in this year or last year. Now, in my 20s when I had my kids, so I went hunting from like 15 all the way up until I was about 23, 24. I did take a break when I had my daughter. Then I had another child back to back. I did salmon fishing and halibut fishing and everything with that, with my kids, with my two, when they were first born. Like, there's literally photos, my husband, like his screensaver is literally me out salmon fishing with a child strapped to the front of me and another child on like a leash attached to me, because in Alaska, the glacier water, it moves very, very quickly and your kids can get swept away. And so I'd be salmon fishing and they would be strapped to my body. But now that I'm in my 30s, my kids are much older. I don't stay back like my husband will go out hunting. But I would stay back with my kids. And now that they're getting older, I get to go out hunt more than I did before. Do you want to cry? I found out. Do you want to cry? I found out about self-defense weapons allowed in Spain. Pepper spray and a strobe. IDQ. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that for self-defense. I do not like that. That sucks. I'm so sorry. That's horrible. That is horrible. But like I said, everybody has different roles, and some people might be in different phases of life. Like, some may have toddlers running around or infants running around, and hunting might not be as much of a priority for them right that moment. Because raising kids is hard, guys. It's not for the faint, okay? It's not for the faint. And I had enough scares with my second daughter, Kaylee. She was my mischief toddler. And my oldest was very much the rule follower. And she would sit like next to me while I was fishing. Well, Kaylee, I was like, don't go near that water. There's rapids. That's quick moving water. That water moves faster than you. She had to be like, the boys were out on a rock. They were fishing. I was fishing over by the kids. I was casting out, and I just saw the look in her eyes, and she reached over, and it was just right when the snow, like right when the season started. So we're talking like May. The water's still really cold. By Anchorage. It's very, very cold, but the water is moving very fast. And she reached forward. Was it May or June? I want to say it was around summer solstice. But she reached out and she went right into that river. And I'd never reached down so fast. I reached down and grabbed her by her life vest, and I had her hanging. But once again, glacier water freezing. So the first thing that went to my mind was hyperthermia. Her body temperature dropped way too quick, so instantly was ripping off all of the clothes. wrapping her up. I ripped off my clothes that were dry, wrapped her in those clothes, and then had to start getting a fire ready and start warming her up. I mean, she was my mischief child. So then when I had 3 kids, I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to take them all with me. Now that they're getting older and they like going fishing, they have not gone hunting yet. Parenting is the hardest job, but you're most loved. Yes. It definitely, but I did take a break. I took a break for 10 years from hunting while raising babies. Like, I took a pretty significant break because I didn't expect somebody back at camp to watch my kids. Some of the seasons, you know, sometimes your hunts, it's pretty cold. Sometimes, yeah, decent, but most of the time it's pretty chilly. It's a little chilly out there. So now my kids are getting to experience that. You like your Black Widow recurve as smooth as butter. Is that the one you show on live, Shattered? Not even allowed pepper spray in the UK. Really? Don't you guys in Australia have limits on like how the length of a knife you're allowed to own? Like, what's the length? Is this too long? Is that, I don't know what your guys' rules are. What are your guys' rules? What are the rules? I really only feel like I know American rules, but I need to start versing myself in better ones. What would be, what is the limits? I know Australia, they have like a length limit. Australia's got some dangerous animals. Australia's like the wild, wild west. Okay? I ain't gonna lie. You guys got some crazy looking spiders that are everywhere. You know what? Y'all are the ultimate. Not even allowed pepper spray. That is interesting. And Australia is quite expensive, right? On their currency. I bought a few things from Australia and they were a little spendy. I don't know. Crocodile Dundee's knife was pretty big. They have like new rules though. They got a lot of different rules. I'm keeping track of the time. Sorry if I paused the live for a moment. I just needed to do a time check. Is the only thing we're allowed, I'd say. Blood monkey. We call it, no offense intended. No lock knives carried on a person. The law basically punishes you if you have to defend yourself. That's kind of wild. Mike says that's cheating, Shattered. If money was no option, I would. That's cheating. That's 100% cheating. Call Shattered out on being a cheater. No carry, no nothing. That's hard. So do you guys explore different ways to protect yourself than the traditional ways? Ultimately, that's how we would have to look at that. You'd have to explore many different ways. Yeah, no, Shattered, you're a cheater. We're just going to call Shattered a cheater. Everybody in the chat, right? Shattered's a cheater in there. Shattered's a longtime friend. I'm going to actually go on a hunt out on his property. He's from Oklahoma. He's been a mod for a very long time, but he hosts hog hunts. And my uncle has never been on a hog hunt, and it's on his bucket list. And life is too short as it is. So me and my uncle are going to go out to Shattered's, and my uncle is going to get to do his first hog hunt. I don't know if hog is even good. I've never done a hog hunt, but I am very excited. Shattered, I hope you know this. He is very excited about it. I just need to know what areas we need to stay in and whatnot and so forth. And then I think we have to, pick an out-of-state tag, correct? He has been prepping for this, okay? I'm going to tell you right now. My uncle does all the reloading for us. And that's my big thank you. My big thank you to him. Because he knows so much more. I would love for him to come on a live. You guys could pick his brain on reloading all day long, but I don't know it. Coming from someone whose stepdad used to hunt in the swamps of Louisiana. Hog is great. Okay, Nola. Okay, all right. Getting more and more creative. I like it. Hello, 3 dogs and a paw. Welcome in, welcome in. That's awesome, Nola. You weren't allowed to get, Pat's girl says she was not allowed to get a license until she could change oil in a tire. That is a good skill. Matt, you're not late. I'm still here. You're totally good. Welcome in, welcome in. Oh, I didn't mean to almost report my friend. Ah, stop. The reasons why I moved to Florida, we get free Second Amendment state. Exactly. That's why I feel like everything that's going on, the more they restrict protection, you'll never see those rights come back. And that is one of the reasons, like, it's part of the fundamentals of being prepared is the right to carry, the right to own. My hometown, like I grew up, so here's kind of a backstory. I lived in Utah until I was about 10. I moved to Oregon and Washington until I was in my 20s. And then I moved back to Utah and then to Alaska and then back to Utah. And in the intermediate of the 10 years that I lived here at the very beginning, I also lived in Wyoming, Indiana, Nevada, quite a few states. Okay. My mom was very nomadic, so we kind of putzed around, but my family was from here. But when Oregon started to change their rules on magazines, same with Washington, my in-laws and everybody are from there, and they're like, why won't you guys move here? And I'm like, I'm not giving that up. I also want to show you one of my new magazines. Can I show an empty magazine on here? Is there like a rule against that? I want to show you guys a new magazine. It was a gift. It was very nice. I want to try wild boar. I've heard it's great, and then I heard it wasn't so great. But also some people, like right now, we have antelope from our hunt last year, and a lot of people hate antelope meat. It's very sagey. Sorry, like I sit like this, guys. Like I'm a mover when I sit. It's very sagey, but I've been like kind of tweaking recipes, and I think I've kind of got it perfected, and I'm gonna try it again and see if anybody notices it's antelope. But game meat's fantastic. There's videos of guns on here, yes. But for lives, they kind of have like rules on what you're allowed to. So I can't show a gun on live, but I think I can show an empty mag, right? Like it's empty. I believe it's empty. Hold up, let me go look. Hi, ducks. Hi, birds. I don't know where my husband put it. I don't know where my husband put it. But I just got a new mag and they had it engraved and it says, I ain't scared of no ghosts. And it has a little ghost running. I really like it. It's really nice. She went into one of those rooms with amazing cool shit that I'm jealous of. Matt, I just bought a new Canic and I really like it. Yeah, it is. I had someone one time, I didn't taste gamey at all. And I was shocked. And I can't remember who was cooking it. You've never had antelope, deer, and coon, and gator. Hey, Nola, I am not judging because most of my kids don't even know. Most of their meat is venison or elk. All the chili I make is with venison and an elk. So when I do my freeze dry recipe so I have to create these for hunts, okay? So when I create these little MREs, these are what we take along with Mountain House when we go out on hunts. And this year I'm doing I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do venison or elk, but I'm doing a chili and then it will have freeze-dried cheese inside of it, freeze-dried onions inside of it. Also, obviously the chili, I might add noodles into it to kind of make it like a chili mac in there. And then I'm going to freeze dry some Fritos. Elk is delicious. I prefer elk over a lot. Buffalo is very good. I love buffalo. I know we've all like had the joke on here, caribou, but I'm going to call it reindeer sausage. It's my absolute favorite. It is my absolute favorite for breakfast dishes. Where do you order them? You order meat that you haven't tried? That's awesome. Yeah, I love venison. It's very lean, so it's easy to use. My kids don't even notice. So like most of the time, like let's say Chrissy and everybody that's moderators in here, they know I have like a love for hamburger helper. That was a delicacy when I was a kid. Okay, I grew up really poor and that was a good meal. All right. I love venison in my hamburger helper. And my kids have it. They don't know it's not hamburger. But I feel like antelope it's a little sagey. My uncle and my aunt say it's too gamey for them, so I have their antelope. My uncle got an antelope last year with my husband. They went on that hunt together, and it was. Your son loves hamburger helper. He'd die on that hill. Okay, Nola, me and your son would be. I am the same way. I'm like, hamburger helper is great. My kids are like, that's not the most delicious. And I'm like, you're not eating it right. Like, you got to grate some cheese on top of it. You have some fun with it. We don't need to judge. Elk chili is bomb. I win. So last year I won second place on the chili cook-off for my husband's unit. I won the year before first place. But last year I won 100 pounds of beef pork. Strong Eyes. Thank you so much for the gift. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm going to be getting that canning recipe to you for some barbecue sauce. Thank you, Strong Eyes, seriously, for all you do. If you guys make sure to drop thank yous down into the chat for Strong Eyes. He has gifted so many memberships. I'm learning how. So Strong Eyes, I think tomorrow we should be able to have some emotes up. I'm trying to learn what the sizing is to upload the emotes in here. But you guys, make sure you say thank yous to Strong Eyes. All right, Nola, have a wonderful day at work. There's a lot of deer in Canada, but you've never ate one. Tori, you've never had antelope before either. Hot tep, sage. They taste very sagey. So This next dish I'm going to be making, I'm probably going to soak the meat in milk for a little bit and then cook with it and see if I can get some of that gamier taste out. Gamey doesn't bother me, but it bothers some people. Have I ever tried rattlesnake? Yes. Bison, elk, delicious. Can't get into goat or sheep. Oh, I've had both of those and they don't bother me none. Yep, Strong Eyes gifted out so many amazing memberships, so I'm trying to learn. I'm gonna get the emotes up. We're gonna try. We're gonna try our best. Alligator is surprisingly good. I had alligator at like a Cabela's when I was a teen, but I've never had it since then. And I remember it was pretty good. A lot of people use it, they just don't tell you. Oh. Rabbit's really good. I like rabbit stew. You like gamey because it reminds you of lamb. My husband likes lamb, so. But my aunt and uncle said they're like, the antelope is too gamey. And I was like, well, they were like, do you want all the meat? And I was like, yes. So now I have one freezer that's just filled with antelope. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to have to get creative with this one because we waste nothing in our house. I've had camel. Camels ain't bad. It ain't bad. You're looking into a gun license? Nice. But it's just like frog legs. I've had frog legs before. There's a few things I've had and a few things I haven't. You've tried shark? I have never tried shark. Squirrel gravy. I have not eaten squirrel. No, wait. I'm trying to remember. I might have, but I think I was really young. Really, really young. But one of my best friends, that's their favorite dish is squirrel. So I do not judge. You decided against Colorado due to their ridiculous new gun laws. I'm going back to New Mexico for now. Yeah, it's rough, Matt. It's really rough. Colorado changed, Oregon changed, Washington changed. Wyoming's pretty safe. New Mexico's pretty safe. Utah's pretty safe. Idaho, Montana, they're a lot more lenient. I'm trying to think of what else. Pheasant nuggets are one of my favorite. I love a good chicken nugget that's a pheasant. It's delicious. Some people don't like grouse. I like grouse. I don't know if anybody else likes grouse. I feel like the more you cook with game meat, the better you get at it. Throw it in a chili. You really can't mess up a chili. You've been looking at Alaska, but even been trying to fight against. It's hard. It's hard. When we moved to Alaska, we have some collectors' guns that are very old and that don't really have a serial number on them. And because our home was going to be transported on the back of trucks through Canada, we left all of that with my uncle. And then when we got back, we took it back. Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, or Utah. Yeah, those are your best bets. Best bets. Utah, if you get your conceal carry, then it's easier when you're purchasing. It's just quicker, but it's easy. My dad used to cook frog legs, and they would kick. Your mom was very traditional. She said that the kids shouldn't be around wild stuff. That's so cute. That's pretty cute. That's pretty cute. I kind of like that. So I remember like my oldest, she's 13 now, but when she was like 3, I was salmon fishing and I wasn't getting any bites. And she had one of those, you know, those pretend kid rods, right? With just a little weight that looks like a fish at the end. She's learning how to cast. She was so proud of herself, okay? So proud of herself. She's trying. She's trying. And she got a bite. She got a bite. And she starts trying to reel. And the whole reel goes. And I grabbed the rod from her. And I was like, do you have a bite? And she's like. And I was like, okay. So like there's no reel. So I'm literally wrapping the rod like this. Like holding on to this thing. The whole reel is broken. And like it's. So I'm wrapping it. I'm like, run, get my knife. She's like, okay. So she goes and gets my knife. She comes out. She's got her little knife, right? It's closed. She's safe, okay? And I finally get it. And we're dragging this up. And it was a salmon. She pulls it up. And I was like, all right, give me the knife. She hands it to me. I open it. And I was like, all right, what are you going to do? And she goes, she's so stinking cute. 3 years old. She grabs it. And she's like, ugh. And I was like, oh, okay. All right, Lila Ray. All right, Miss Thing. All right, you got your mom in you. I was so proud. The more you cook in general, having worked in a kitchen for some time, it ends up being more accelerated. Your favorite food takes no effort. Exactly, Hot Tep. But it was the cutest thing I had ever seen. She was so proud of herself. But she literally, I had been casting not a single bite, but it went for her little weight. Her little weight was shaped. It was like a little aerial, like child's fishing pole. Like, and it just had a little weight on the end of it. It was like looked like a little fish. So it was like the little fins were down here. The top was there. And I went for it. I'm 70 and you still hold those values and you miss your dad. Aw, pony girl. Past tense way to say it. Oh. Is anyone stocking up on DVDs, portable DVD cases if the grid goes down? I'm finding a lot on Facebook. Yes. I am a DVD and VHS collector for a very long time. I don't like Netflix and those things because once your favorite show's on there, then they take it away. And what if the grid does go down? I want to have some form of entertainment. And when I really want to save money and I don't want any memberships, I'll go in through and watch all my old DVDs and VHSs. My best friend, Cassie, who also is my assistant, she likes to tease me because she goes, who has a VHS player anymore? And I'm like, she goes, of course you do. And I was like, I like it. I enjoy it. It's great. And she's like, you could just throw the cases away. And I was like, absolutely not. Out on our camper, out at the property, there's a DVD player and there's a drawer filled with DVDs because once again, there's no streaming out there. And same like even at the hunting cabin, like we have a DVD player and a TV and we have all that stuff just set up and it's a great time when you go out to the cabin and you just put in a movie at the end of the day when you're tired. You just rearranged your old DVDs. Oh, I love that. All right. So for those who do prep in those kind of items, what is your favorite comfort show? You're going to plan to buy a backup? I love it. What would your backup be? Like, what's your comfort show? I'm just curious. Do you have it on DVD or do you have it on VHS? Do you have it on hard copy, whether it's on a hard drive? What is your comfort show when you're, the show that you can watch, You can fall asleep to. You know every beat of it. You know everything about it. So you don't really watch it. It's just kind of like, I'm just listening to it. The first 3 seasons of The Walking Dead as we speak. Let's go. Deadwood. Okay, don't judge. Vampire Diaries. Slightly judging, but not judging. Little House on the Prairie. I love Little House on the Prairie. Backup Headphones. Let's go. Raising Hope. And How to Meet Your Mother. Aw. RA have a CD player with lots of music. Let's go. Ooh, Serena says she's in a Vampire's Diary. Oh, Courtney, you just bonded. Hell yeah, I live in South Florida. Hurricane Ian was like a nuke popped off. I bet it was. Ransom. Welcome in, welcome in. Red Dawn. Oh, you chose the good one, 1984. That's the good one. Don't judge. But I have a West Wing, and you have every season on. I won't judge. I'm not judging. All disasters, post-apocalyptic movies. Yes, yes, and yes. All the John Wayne movies. Yes. I love those. Red Dawn cannot be topped. I agree 100% with that. Like, that movie alone, I'm sorry, the teenagers were majestic. Could you imagine if the Red Dawn happened in this era? I'm so proud of the new Gen Z preppers we're getting because there is a lot. So I just want you guys to know, like, everything you guys have done and, like, typing in comments and encouraging and sharing and, like, sharing those things on TikTok. I now have gained quite a large following from ages 25 through 18, which means that they're waking up, which I'm very proud because I was a little concerned. I was a little concerned that people were not that concerned about what was happening. But once again, you know, product of a generation, it happens. But very, very proud. Friends for me, you're a millennial girl, friends for me. This violates the Geneva Convention. But Red Dawn, could you imagine that kind of a scenario happening nowadays? Like, those teens on Red Dawn were more geared for survival than a lot of people had. Nowadays, I think people would be like, look at them. There's so many parachuters. What's going on? Let's do our TikTok dance. Sorry. I have to throw that out there, all right? I have to throw that out there occasionally. Where the red fern grows. Lassie. Those are good ones. My kids, this is the show that they always watch when we're in the camper. We have some of the old Heidi's and Anne Green in there. I remember when buying 100 pounds of rice, you got a strange look, right? And then we have like Toy Story and those kind of things. My son really loves those. Cars. I think we've watched Cars in the camper probably 1,000,000 times. Easily. But Anne Green, I didn't really think that my kids would really enjoy it, but they do. They're like, Mom, we're going to watch the olden days. Is this when you were born? And I'm like, ouch. Okay. Especially when my middle daughter goes, well, you were born in like the 1800s. And I'm like, oh, gotcha. You got me there. Hold on, let me get that knife out of my chest. She doesn't even try to stab you in the back. She goes just straight for the chest. You're just like, hold on. Let me get this out for you. Oh, all the lethal weapons. Yes. Yeah. There's a few ones. The OG Red Dawn is a masterpiece. Yes, the new Red Dawn is super Yeah, I'm not the biggest. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I only made it like 10 minutes in the new one, so I won't lie to you and say I've watched the whole thing. I was like, this is weird. Your dad was a paratrooper in Korean War and had to at least tandem. So my husband's airborne. Armageddon, love it. Welcome in, Alaska Indoor Grow. Welcome, welcome. Nowadays, when you buy 25 pounds of rice, you get a look that you're only getting 20. You get a look for only getting 25 pounds, yes. Ooh, civil defense prepping. That is a very good conversation. Let's dive into that one. Cartels are stockpiling weapons and ammo, and they're planning something on American people closing the borders to cut off in their profits. So I want to talk about that for a moment. That civil defense prepping. So are you talking about the case that happened here in Utah? Because that was big. That was big. That was big. I don't remember the exact weight. But it happened in Utah and they were going to Colorado, and it was a lot. It was a lot. It was enough to make your stomach turn. It was pretty bad here. Yeah, there's more than one. There's been several, but the one in Utah, that was yes, it was like 180,000 rounds. Like that's a lot of ammunition. That is a lot. My husband's friend was on that case. But that is something we should be very, very cautious of, because there could be pressure like that, especially cutting off the border. I mean, I'm just a realistic person when it comes down to it. Bad people will do bad things no matter what. I have not watched Zero Day. I want to watch Zero Day. But we need to be prepared, because I did not expect that to happen in Utah. Mm-hmm. They will strike during a grid down here in the US. And we know that there's going to be a grid down. We know that. We know that there's been things tested over time. It's just a matter of time of when something like that does happen. And so you have to stay prepared. I don't like to fearmonger, but I really want you guys to be as prepared as physically possible. I don't want, when something happens, that you guys are ever the ones running to the store to panic buy. I want you guys to have your mind in a healthy mindset of, okay, well, we've got to be very wise. I guess I haven't heard about that. So Little Red Hen, there was a bust here in Utah, and it was a vehicle. Everyone was illegal, and it had I believe it was 180,000 rounds and so much more. There was a sting operation involved in it, but it was very, very petrifying. Because mind you, I have to give my ID when I go and purchase things, right? I was purchasing at the end of the night 2 guns, and I came back in the morning to finish the paperwork out, those kind of things. That is the intensity that we have to be very aware of what is happening. When you buy that amount of ammo, you'll have the ABC knocking at your door. Exactly, SF. I was like, how is this even when I go into my favorite gun store, I'll buy 1,000 rounds, okay? I just continue to stock up. Because mind you, we like to go out shooting, and we shoot on a light day. I don't even want to think of how many rounds I've shot in the last 2 days. Probably 300. Easily. Welcome in, Tree. Welcome in. And then I'm buying it and replacing it. What do you prep for comms? Do you have long range? We have ham radios. We have a lot of different things. We have GMRs, we have ham radios. My husband and his friend are working on pretty much a whole new operated system. I don't want to speak on it yet because we want to test it first, but it is pretty innovative. They've been deep dived into it right now. It's pretty much I'll have him come on a live and talk to you guys about it. Oh no, we're talking there was cases. Like they weren't buying them in small cases. They were buying. And I believe that group was they found out they went to like only like 2 stores. Like it was crazy. That amount of ammunition is definitely like a knock on your door. You can't find 1K round. In the stores where I live, everything is in lower counts for several years now. So I like to go to ranges. Sometimes ranges will sell you a little bit more. When you find out the way to fight back without guns and bullets, these gangs live. I'm trying not to read it out loud, but read it too. VHS shows my age. I am not scared of my age. I will never dabble around my age. You guys, I am old. I am 36. Proud 80s child. It doesn't scare me to talk about my age. But I'll have to show you the new setup for Wendy D. I just don't know much about it yet. They have been very invested in this ham setup, and so they have to break it down. Like they're totally nerded out on it right now, and I don't know much on it. Get repeaters set up around the hilltop. Yes. That's actually what they're doing. Like, I do know that they're working with repeaters right now. I just don't know the full setup. Like, I don't know all of it. This has been like the last like 5 days. They have been just like deep into this. And I'm like, okay. And every day it comes back and there's something new. So I'm like, if I say, I'm probably going to say it wrong until they break it down in front of me. Three Stooges. I have all the Three Stooges on DVD. People need to find out ways to entertain themselves other than plug in, play any things. I agree. Puzzles, boxes. Have you guys ever seen my kids' entertainment preps? Do you guys want to see it? Die Hard is the best Christmas movie. Do you guys want to see? So when I say when you guys got to prep for everything, you need to prep for everything, right? Our basement is our comfort zone. So I'm going to take you guys to kind of see. Let me just turn on this light. So for instance, I love puzzles, so I like to collect puzzles. We have almost like 9 different cupboards like this throughout our house. So there's different games. You got Jenga. My kids, this is what my kids like to do on their spare time. I know a lot of people are more into electronics, but you know, you got some fun games, okay? We got some the Christmas Story. My mom's favorite game was Scrabble, so then we got a Christmas Story for Scrabble. We got Jumanji, we got Monopolies, we got Battleships, and let's go to the next cupboard. All right, you ready for the next cupboard? All right. It's a little chilly in here. This one's one of my favorite cupboards, okay? Why? Because we got my Scrabble here. Scrabble is great for your brain. Clue. Can you tell how much I love this Clue game? When it's falling apart, it's been well loved. Risk is one of my all-time favorite games. Absolute all-time favorite games. Been using that one forever. And Yahtzee. I could play Yahtzee every day and still love it. So that's just in here. And then also in our camper, we do have a bunch of entertainment set up for our kids and for ourselves. Because here's the thing. When things happen, your mind is going to collapse. Understand that. People will get lonely. People will get bored with themselves. I'm not going to lie to you. While I was overseas, a lot of the time, like, I spent a lot of time by myself, and I would play Scrabble by myself, or I would play Yahtzee and just like random things, and then I just got rid of them when I was done with them. But you want to make sure that you're keeping your mind fresh, and boredom and loneliness will take some of the best down. I bet I would be jealous of my junk drawer. No, my junk drawers are disasters. They are They are not the best. They're not the best drawers. I was set for full concealment and bug in. So we do have some concealment into our walls. That's what I mean. I don't show everything. Bug in, yep. Heat, water, cooling system. So we have a separate heating system for down here compared to the rest of our home. And then like these walls this way are concrete. And then the walls in there are concrete and the surrounding and then there. So you just, I only have like the 3 windows that I have to worry about. And then we have a separate ventilation system down here for clean air. There's just a few things that make this house really cool that not a lot of people realize. But I'm looking for more concealed areas. Don't forget to have a specialist guy or a drone. So that's what we've been working on. So my husband and me got some drones and now we're working better with it. I am not good at it. He is okay. But then people that are part of our group, they're really good at it with drones. Were lifelines during blackouts? Yes. You have a decent pair of binoculars to birdwatch. Ooh. I have Vortex binoculars. We're trying to train. So civil defense, we're trying to train my son. Because he has a collection of RC cars. Okay. He has now an excavator that can dig up. Him and my husband were digging up bullets yesterday and dropping them into different containers with this excavator. But he collects those. And so we're hoping he will be able to man it a lot easier because we did get a night vision one for surveillance purposes, which a lot of people don't realize like drones can be used. And we have a set of drones that are actually in an EMP bag. But we just barely started moving towards that in the fall. Like I was like, ooh, we should dabble in that. Wendy, thank you so much for answering questions quick. I try to answer questions as quick as possible. So what are some things that I'm prepping with Hashimoto? So I have these. I've had really great. I found these a long time ago, but they're thyroid support. And I have a ton of these. The majority of it is vitamin B12, iodine, zinc, selenium, copper, magnesium, and L-tyrosine, which is what your thyroid responds the best for. And so I prep a ton of those and a ton of vitamin B12. You have craft books, sketchbooks. Oh, nice. SF says, Doomsday Queen, if SHTF happens tomorrow, what's the first meal I would make? Okay, if you promise SF not to make fun of me, you promise? You got a pinky promise. Okay, so first we're going to look in on that wall right there. If you guys notice, right there is the face. That is Jake. That is Jake. He is the mascot for the last like 4 years on this app. And they keep telling me I'm not allowed to eat him, but I'm going to eat him, okay? That. The very first meal I'm going to make if SHTF happens is I'm going to eat Jake, okay? I am going... No, see, they're going to get moody in here. The chat is going to get wild. I'm going to make Jake into a dump cake with some nice dump cake, you know, a nice yellow cake. And it's going to be like a cobbler, and it's the Whiskey Peaches, but I'm going to eat Jake first. Oh, I've just made the whole chat. The whole chat is mad right now. When I was in the Army, I was a combat lifesaver in the tank. Ooh, nice. 4 guys. Somebody must be proficient in first aid. Now your oldest is an EMT, so that is his duty in the group. Oh, I love that. You definitely do want proficiency. Blocked. Oh, they're already banning me. You just struck a chord with them. Maybe you guys shouldn't have asked me what's the first thing I was going to eat. I didn't know you guys would get so emotional into this. Okay. First of all, if SHTF happens, you're not going to know if Jake was sacrificed. First of all, Jake has been there for a long time and you guys will not allow me to eat Jake. I feel like I'm kind of bullied by you guys because Jake is delicious. Jake has to be like the Titanic song. Picture the movie Mr. and Mrs. Smith when they're destroyed house eating Jake. It was a solid run. Oh, I know. I'll sense it. Homestead would be like, SHTF happens, and she's like, she's eating Jake. Absolutely eat Jake. Exactly. See, thank you. Thank you. I mean, we're talking some cinnamon whiskey peaches in a cobbler. The world has just ended. This is like a moment of a peace for a minute before things happen. All right. Of course, I'm going to eat Jake first. Duh. The next meal that I would probably make, I would probably just be cooking from my freezer. Oh, no, I'm not touching the freeze-dried stuff. That's going to last a long time. Silly nilly. I probably, because I would be pressure canning at the same time, I probably would pressure can the turkey and have a nice dinner to go with my Jake cobbler. I got a feeling we probably will be more like the road and depressing. Unfortunately, that is a conversation we've had a lot about. SHTF, true that. Eat Jake, eat Jake, eat Jake. They probably think we're talking about a jar of peaches. We're not talking about humans. That's a possibility the road could happen. Roasted young ducklings, get out of here. Instant ban for Shattered. What state or area are you from generally? I've lived in Utah and Oregon most of my life. But I live in Utah right now. Homestead is covering her ears. Stop it. You'll be fine. You didn't even make Jake. I made Jake. I slaved cooking all of that. Eat him while watching the news. I would eat my own. Oh, I think you're talking about something else, my friend. Y'all went straight morbid. If you have not smashed that thumbs up button, please do. He's a personality. He doesn't even talk. Welcome in, Roadkill crew. Welcome in from New Jersey. Jake vibes will go out to all your subscribers and they will know even without power, Jake has spoken. I want to eat them within 5 years. Okay, so I don't like to eat my mason jars past 5 years. Let's find out when was Jake made. We're going to carry him ever so carefully because they get very emotional when I bring Jake up. Y'all don't even realize. They are very, very drawn to Jake. Is that Jake? Yeah, that's Jake. Okay. So this is Jake. Jake was canned in 2022. He has been a longtime member of the team. He's probably one of my most loved and beholden. Most of the guys just go nuts over my whiskey peaches in general. And the fact that I've been able to keep him in the same place for so long says a lot because the boys like to pour this over vanilla ice cream. Yeah, he's already 3 years old. His peaches are getting a little soft in there. I would really like to eat him some point soon. Not gonna lie, his jar is looking a little questionable on the inside, but I do know it's probably oxidized. If Jake starts speaking, you don't have to worry about SHTF. Blue cities, gun-free zones. Yeah, people are gonna get hurt the worst. Yeah. But he has an eye, a nose, and a mouth. There is Jake, and people are very emotionally attached to this one jar of peaches that I have. Start making a Jake. Oh, there's older ones in there. Yeah, nobody else has gotten attached, but it's literally my live chat that got attached to Jake. And this has been like 4 or 5. Oh gosh, now it's 3 years for him. I'm not even allowed to like turn him fast because I'm afraid his face will disappear, but his like little cinnamon sticks in the back. Justice for Jake. See, they're already worked up. They're already worked up. You know what? Y'all are annoying me. I'm going to eat Jake today. Y'all are annoying me. I'm going to eat Jake. But it's like a whiskey, cinnamon, vanilla whiskey peaches. You need to give everyone a heads up when he goes down. Oh my gosh. Y'all, you want me to torture him? You have time, pineapples, no name. Especially over ice cream. Yeah, that's what the boys' favorite is they love my whiskey peaches over vanilla ice cream. Another thing that they love is when I do like pickled jalapenos. I'll do like pickled jalapenos, carrots, some slices of bell peppers, onions, garlic, and pickled eggs all in the same container. I know it doesn't sound good. They love it. Or pickled asparagus for Bloody Marys. They love it. They love it. Eat Jake and just make a new one. How am I going to replace the peaches just strategically so it looks like a face? Look at him. Look at him. He has the face. Look, it literally looks like I have a head in a jar. He's right there. You see him? They don't care about any of the other jars. Just Jake. Just Jake. There's only 4 more whiskey peaches left for this year. But he is my oldest. Yeah, there's Jake. You see him? You see him? Even my husband likes to like make jokes. We'll be on a live and he's like, I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to shake Jake up. And they all lose their minds and they're like, ah! Corrine says, please eat Jake. He scares me. It's just whiskey peaches. Oh, Matt says, I do see the face now. Now do you see it? Like when it's like lurking in the back. I'm muting you're not muting anybody. Now you see the face. You also don't know that there's hidden pine cones around the room. Y'all are so new in here. I've been doing live streaming for a long time. So there's hidden pine cones around the room because we would troll people. So I make my own fire starters out of pine cones and leftover stuff. Hold on. I'm trying to see what time it is. Okay. I do have to get off live here in like a few minutes because I still have to film today and edit. But everybody like on TikTok, because they would miss the videos, they would be like, why is there pine cones in that room? And so then I started hiding pine cones. Keep FAFO away from it. Right? But nobody else has had any other emotional attachment. Ricky, it took her years to figure out where Jake is. And now he just sits strategically right here in front of you guys. There's a few other ones. So that new magazine, it's going to be in this room. It says, I ain't afraid of no ghosts. I have a few things that are in my office that I am like attached to. This is a little dusty because the chickens are down here. So everything's really dusty. But I have a little Eeyore. My mom's favorite thing was Eeyore. I like little simple. Oh no, Eeyore lost a tail. I like little simple things, but my son and my daughter made me this, and he's cute, right? Look at him. He's just a little Eeyore. Pony Girl says, now I'm invested in Jake's Zone. Did you talk about seed storage outside of the fridge? I was picking up my kids. No, I have not talked about any seed storage. Another one of my favorite things. So I do have a P.O. box. So if you ever want to send something cool that gets added in, I I keep things for a very long time. They're my pride little possessions. But this is Walt. Walt is a zombie mushroom that was given to me by my friend Mallory. And it's like a little mascot. So like there's like random little mascots in this room all over the place. If Billy D is still in here, Billy D, we're gonna just do like attribution. Billy D is very good at leather. His leather craftsmanship is fantastic. He put CF for Charmingly Frugal. And this is my favorite wallet, and I don't even dare use it. Like, it is just magnificent. Magnificent. His leather, like, he gives his stitching, and he hand-stitched all of it, is phenomenal. Phenomenal, phenomenal. So, if you live where Billy D is, you definitely want him in your group because he's got some skills that I definitely do not have. The fake head prank in the fridge with a potato. I think I remember. You're talking about the big head that was like carved into, right? That was like sitting. It wasn't in like a giant mason jar. I could be wrong. I could be thinking of something else. You're trying to get into our heads away from Jake. I have a few things that are all sentimental. Longhorn Tactical Defense. This is called Tactical Spam. It was on a live. Jen signed it. We got everything all signed, and it's like a mounted. And then this sat on the shelf back there, and people were like, "Oh, why do you have an optic on?" And it's just a little red dot, but it's broken. The red dot is broken. Why do you have a tactical spam? And I'm like, because it's fun, and it was from our friends, and I love our friends. We all have like little like knickknacks that the tactical spam is hilarious, right? I would not eat it because it's very dented, and it's very dented. This expired in 2023, but the tactical spam will live on with my zombies. It's pretty funny. Okay, guys. And then Annabelle that's in the chat, she got me a bunch of tacked out ducks for my Jeep, and I go around ducking with those little ducks. Okay, all right, guys. Okay. Any other questions before we call it a day? So many fun things. There's a lot of fun things that are kind of hidden throughout the room. So if you're ever paying attention to like the shelves and you notice something, be like, what is that? You'll start noticing that there's like more, just some fun things in here. I have my Twisters bucket. I'm a hardcore Twister fan. I love the first Twister more than anything. But when Twisters came out, I went opening night and got my popcorn bucket, and it's sitting right over there. When is the next live chat? I will be dropping a video tomorrow, and then the live chat will be the next day. The tactical, there's Annabelle. You're now obsessed with the little zombie. Isn't it so cute? It's a little, look at its little brain. It's a little zombie brain, but his name is Walt. And it was hand crocheted by Mallory. It is so cute. He's so cute. So my office is just a fun area. Welcome in, Jessica Rabbit. How are you, my friend? You had so much fun. Do you guys like the lives? Are you guys enjoying lives? Do you guys want me to do more lives? I'm going to try to do it like every other day over here. I don't know if it messes with like when I post a video, or if you guys just like, do you guys like the interaction? I'm always trying to figure out what you guys like. I'm trying to figure out ways, because prepping videos, some of them will get views, some of them don't. More lives. You guys love the lives. TikTok so much, but you love YouTube lives. I love YouTube. So I'm going to try to do videos every other day and a live every other day. So every day I should be on this app. I'm just trying to work it in. We need more crayons. I need a crayon in here. Oh, I do have another one that was sent. Here, I'll send it. I'll show you guys. So this one was also sent from a fan, and he did such a fantastic job. He hand did this. The talent behind this was incredible. Incredible. RH Woodworks, he hand carved this. And it is phenomenal. Sorry that it's like reversed for you guys. But absolutely beautiful. And so you guys are a big part of my life. So I like to incorporate you guys into the room. So you'll find like little things like hidden around in here that are from you guys. Movies. Yeah, I try to bring like a realistic, like you can't, if you overfocus into prepping where you don't have fun and you can't have a conversation like, oh, that could be very serious. Okay, let's laugh a little, but like, let's continue prepping. You will hit burnout. You will get fatigued and you'll just quit. And I feel like I bring a good amount of comedy in and laughter and realism. And I try to bring it in so that you don't get burnt out. Because if I got burnt out, obviously I've been doing this my whole life. Of course I go through like phases where I'm like, oh, things are good. I don't really have to worry about that. But when you incorporate so many different measures of prepping into your life, you'll always continue to do that. So for me, canning every single year, all the time throughout the year, that's pretty normal for me. I don't get burnout on it. During harvest season, I do get burnt out where I'm like, oh, if I have to do one more round of tomatoes, I might lose my mind. But then I know once I finish, then I got to do it next year. So I like to incorporate prepping into a way that it's a mindset where you don't get yourself burnt out. We can sit around and laugh. When I do like canning videos and stuff, just know like when I'm talking to the camera, that's not really like how I'm canning when I'm at home. When I'm canning at home, I literally have music like cranked up and it is like a whole, like, it's like a dance off the whole time. Okay. You have to be in good spirits because let's say SHTF happens. Let's say shit actually hits the fan, apocalyptic, Armageddon. I don't care what it is. It's gonna be hard work. Y'all are going to be doing some hard work. Preserving your own food is not for the weak. Growing your own food is not for the weak. You're going to be doing a lot of hard work and you're going to get tired. You're going to get exhausted. So if you can find the positive, even in the mundane and the exhausting, it's going to get better. It's the same when I go to split firewood. I'm going to be laughing and joking and I just do my own thing because if you find the positivity in it, then you don't get exhausted. Do you generally pre-freeze your food? I try to, but sometimes I'm impatient before I use my freeze dryer. Hello, Jerry from Northern Minnesota. Welcome in, welcome in. Homestead's canning requires a full concert. It does. It does. Same when I'm making bread. I literally talk to myself while I'm making bread. I do. This is what I do like all the time. I talk to myself. I'm on live stream talking to myself. I'm talking to you guys in the chat, but ultimately I'm still talking to myself. We got to get into that mindset that things are going to be okay. They're going to be okay. Even if they get really, really bad. And I think we are approaching really, really bad. If you guys have a sound, stable mind, you're gonna move mountains with it, okay? Your mind being prepared is one of the most important aspects of prepping. I make it a game and have fun with it. Exactly, LaShawn, exactly. Hello, Kelly from Colorado. All right, you guys, I'm going to bounce off of here. I have some chores to do, and I will catch you guys on the next one. There should be a new video coming out tomorrow, maybe tonight. I'm not sure. My son has a baseball game, so we will figure that out on which one I will be able to do, but hopefully I'll be out soon. All right, have a good one, you guys.